January 12, 2010, a massive catastrophic earthquake strikes Haiti, rocking the heavily populated capital of Port-au-Prince. The chilling cries from beneath the rubble, cries for help, cries of desperation. Neighbors, families, sifting through the mounds of rubble with their bare hands to free loved ones trapped under the concrete. Now, 1 year later, we ask how much of this country has truly recovered from the worst natural disaster in its history. So many promises made, we ask how many of them have been kept.
This is an ABC News Digital Special Report, Haiti 1 year later. Here now is David Muir from New York.
Hello and welcome. It was 1 year ago the soul of a nation was shattered, and today Haiti still struggles to recover from the effects of that devastating earthquake that shook the island nation to its core. Millions remain homeless, scores of orphan children still desperate for family, and countless others still hoping for that new beginning. How could any of us forget that day? It began, of course, as a natural disaster in the late afternoon of January 12th. The 7.0 magnitude earthquake claimed hundreds of thousands of lives, making it one of the deadliest earthquakes on record. The outpouring of support was unprecedented. Two former U.S. presidents, Bill Clinton and George W. Bush, joining forces to help spearhead a private fundraising effort. And overall, Americans alone donating more than $1.4 billion. The international community, $5.3 billion. And yet, a year later, just a fraction of that money has been spent. Technology, of course, played an important role, making it easier for people to send in their donations. In fact, the American Red Cross, just one of the organizations to use text messaging to raise funds, received $479 million in donations to help the people of Haiti. And yet, even with all of this pledged help, the people of Haiti continue to endure terrible living conditions and, of course, the cholera outbreak they've dealt with as well. And so we want to get straight to it 1 year later. Where do things stand? There is still plenty of frustration with the government there over the slow progress of rebuilding. In fact, more than 90% of the capital city remains in ruin. Our Matt Gutman is in Haiti 1 year later.
A year after the quake, we all know that there is rubble, but it's hard to conceive how much of it there is and how many people still live outdoors during their washing right out here. Over 1 million people remain homeless. 90% of all the rubble from that earthquake remains here. That's 20 times more than all the rubble that was created in the tsunami in 2004. So this is it. Rubble, trash, all mixed together. It's very hard to clean this up, and there's nowhere to put it. There's only one site in this entire country where they're depositing all of this rubble. Clearly, it's not enough. It's estimated that it could take decades to get rid of all of this. And so you walk a little bit deeper into these little alleyways, or what used to be alleyways, and you see the people have erected some sort of home, anything, a shelter, a couple of tarps, a little bit of tin, and some garbage on top to keep it all down. And these people weathered storms here, hot summers, and now this winter. Life here is not easy a year after the quake.
And so Matt Gutman joins us now from Haiti to mark this 1 year anniversary. And Matt, from that reporter's notebook there, a lot of folks are going to wonder why has it taken so long to move the debris? So much of it, as you point out, remains.
David, there is so much of it, and that is one of the problems. And I mentioned that there were 20 times more debris here than there was after the tsunami. It took 2.5 years to clear the tsunami. If you do the math, it could take many more years. Although, when we spoke to the Prime Minister of this country today, he said it could be done in a year. He just said that the international community doesn't think that rubble removal is actually sexy enough to sell in their home country. So the government itself is left to do it. They've spent only $20 million of that $8 billion or $7 billion pledged on rubble removal, and that's why there's so much more work to be done.
I guess that's what seems so puzzling, though, when you hear about the enormity of the donations still sitting on the sideline, why more of that hasn't been spent on cleaning up the very visual scars from the earthquake.
There are a lot of reasons. One of them is that people are uncertain about actually sending the money to Haiti when there is so much political instability here. Remember, the elections barely happened in December or in late November. There were massive protests in the streets because of the outcome of it, and there continues to be political turmoil. Also, there is corruption. People are very concerned about how they donate money here, and also they want to stagger the amount of money that is sent into Haiti because there simply isn't the capacity to handle it in this country. It is so utterly shattered.
Something else that was telling from your reporter's notebook, the fact that folks have built shelter anywhere they can find a place to sort of put up a tarp, a tent. The shanty towns have exploded in our travels back to Haiti since the earthquake. And we're curious, you've reported on this before, but where does that temporary housing stand? How much has been built?
About 20,000 temporary shelters have been built, David. They're all around the city, but clearly not enough when we're talking about 1.5 million people who were displaced. A large number of that, probably 500,000, have moved away from the tent cities. We don't know where they've gone. We assume that they've moved back to their cracked and crumbled homes, trying to make a house of whatever they can. But clearly they've had enough of living in the tent cities and want to get back into the communities, which is probably a good sign. And I think what we've gathered from being here a few days and 4 trips since the quake itself is that Haitians are really eager to do the work themselves. They want to get it done. They want to get back to normal. And even if they have to do it themselves and dig out the rubble and dig out their homes with their own bare hands.
All right, Matt Gutman on the ground there in Haiti to mark this 1-year anniversary. Matt, we sure do appreciate it.